White shirts on the pitch, running fast through the night. Every heart beating loud under floodlit sky bright. So to London, stand strong, in the stands they belong. Voices echo like thunder, to the club they sing along. Up in Spurs we arise, eyes on the prize. Victory in sight with all our might. King's fire in his eyes, glory's what he seeks. With every goal he flies, rising to new peaks. From the lake to far and wide, with the pride of the fight. On this journey we'll ride, with our passion burning bright. Up in Spurs we arise, eyes on the prize. Victory in sight with all our might. The pride of the fight. On this journey we'll ride, with our passion burning bright. Up in Spurs we arise, eyes on the prize. Victory in sight with all our might. With all our might. With all our might.
Díomh go léir agus fáilte rót chuig an chlárspéisiúlta seo a nocht de lá féile Pádraig THFC go bheici mé bhás. Mar sin téigh sús siacán den copán té agus bin tanmh as an shenanigans a bhfuil le fécint an uair clig seo. God amagad agus tuci lá.
Garmog there, Kevin. Look, he puts me to shame. He puts the man next to me to bloody more shame. He's been here longer than the pair of us put together.
The only bit I understood there was cup of tea. Well done,
It's funny. I said to Philip, "Do you want to start the show speaking Irish, Philip?" And he looked at me and went, "No."
Just for translation purposes, I welcomed everyone to the special show on this St. Patrick's Day on THFC Till I Die. So pull up a seat, make a cup of tea, and enjoy the shenanigans over the next hour or day will come.
Shenanigans? If we're still running by the end of this hour, we'll be very lucky.
You say we're going to be banned, Mr. Dermot?
And look, anything can happen in the next hour. This is St. Patrick's Night. These shows have a legendary status, as Mr. Brady knows, to go into places where no shows have been before.
Do you know what you were saying there, Kevin, with the translation? The other thing to that was on some TV program sometime, this young fella asked a guy in Wales to say something. He wanted to say something complimentary to his girlfriend in Welsh. So he gave him this saying to say, you know, and when he says it, he won't just belt him across the face. And apparently the real translation was, your backside's big enough to fit in 3 continents. Anyway.
We're off and running. This is going to be the state of the show. Good evening to everyone. Welcome to the St. Patrick's Day special. It is now a tradition on this channel. We here on THFC Till I Die celebrate the legend that is our patron saint of St. Patrick. We won't let you know that we've seemed to forget that he was English. He is Irish. We did buy his passport, and he's now an Irish citizen. Yes, Mr. Brady.
Lucky Jack Charlton didn't know about him.
He could have been picked up front to play for Gascarino. Anyway, Philip, how are you? Happy St. Patrick's Day to you. You're down in Dublin. Of course, the big parade today. We out in the parade. Were you were doing a bit of?
Didn't. No, there's too crowded. You know, so the grandkids are too young to go to it anyway. You know, they're only 5 and 2. So no, we went out to Malahide Castle and play into a playground out there. So we had a lovely afternoon out there. Very nice. So yeah, I must meet till Friday now. So I'll be nervous wreck
What's
by
St.
Friday
Patrick's
evening.
Day mean to you, Philip? Now, do you know? Over the years, has it changed for you over the years? Have you seen the change in it to what it used to be to what it is now?
Well, commercialized now, I think. Really, you know, it brings out a lot of business in the Patrick's Day parades are very big for, you know, especially the pubs. Like the pub, there'll not be a pub in Ireland tonight. It's on jammed to the rafters. You know, the religious symbolism is a bit got lost in the mix. I think, really. You know, I think a lot of people wouldn't have a clue who St. Patrick was, except that he's a guy with a funny green hat on. You know, and it's a day off from work. It's a bank holiday, so you know that's a lot of it. You know, it's commercialism. I think it's taken over from religion.
If you are wondering, this is an AI. I'm not really here. I'm down the pub drinking. This is an AI version of me. So if someone's wondering why I'm not in the pub, I am an AI version. So this isn't me. Kev, I mean, you, me of the younger generation of St. Patrick's Day, remember parades. I remember the parades in Mullingar. It was a tractor, a goat, and a cow. Lucky if you got a sheep at the end of it as well. And local GAA just pretending they've won something. I heard in Mayo they're looking for the Sam Maguire Cup. They've set out a new search party, seeking to find it. They're still looking, apparently, 51 years later. And you can't make up your mind if you're caught Kerry or Limerick. I mean, you're talk about, you know, you can't put your flag to one county. You're
spread
between tree.
Well, now, just for clarity purposes, you invented my Limerick connections. I never had any affiliation with Limerick, so let's get that straight away. But I am a proud Kellyman, the most successful football county in all of Ireland, and our only rivals really are Mr. Brady's Dublin. The rest of you aren't anywhere.
I'm not Dublin. Believe me, I'm anything but Dublin. I just happen to have a daughter that lives in Dublin. Actually, I'm a big Kerry fan as well. I love watching Kerry football.
Oh, no, God.
So, but no,
sorry, Dermot.
Yeah, no, I like Mayo as well, but Kerry now, when David Clifford gets going, that's a sight to behold now.
You know, the pair of them get talking about Kerry, that's it. I don't get a word in edgeways.
Well, I say I come from the county where we couldn't even field a team at the weekend. Leitrim.
Oh, are you the inspiration so behind that empty float that travelled down? That was basically a trailer with no footballers inside it.
Oh, but it was a good idea.
But
I did see that. I did see that picture in one of the groups. I couldn't work out why. Now I know.
Yeah, it's a good idea then. We'll say no. We've only got 20 clubs in the county. It's not enough to make up a team. They've got an under-20s match at the weekend, which is much more important. So that's why they pulled out.
Right, anyway, we're going to welcome a few people in. Big up to Greg Selnick. Happy St. Patrick's Day. Done 5 pints of Murphy's in this afternoon. Ready for bed. Can't do it like I used to. Oh well, do you know, Greg? Do you know? As I said, I'm AI. I'm down the pub on my 15th pint of Guinness. Big up to Colin as well. Top of the morning to you. Now I'm going to try to pronounce this. I'm going to kill it. I am going to murder it. Philip's now going to hide in embarrassment. Kev's going to look at me, get him off the screen. Right now, I will say, when I was a kid, I could speak.
I just let you know I'm hovering over the remove button right now, Dermot. Just so you know.
Okay. No, please. I could speak fluent Irish when I was a kid. I rarely could. Right. La Flana Pod.
No, just no. No, we're not doing that, Dermot. No.
All right, then you go and say it then.
Neil Pont.
Law fail of Padraig Hunnitis.
Did I get any of it right?
No.
The law bit wasn't bad.
Yeah, the law bit was okay.
I'm part of the Teletubbies, la.
It was all downhill after that.
Yeah, it was. It was. I could speak. Me and Dale has been trying to teach me, and I got it right at one point. And I got it in my head, right? I'm going to say it live, right? I'm going to get it right. And it all goes to. I've seen what Greg's just put there. That's so true.
Great, excellent.
Big up to Taken. Come on, Jerry Fallon. Happy St. Patrick's Day to you all on screen. Big up, Taken. I hope you're doing well. Just
Me
eating
Jaff,
some
Alan.
bacon. Just eating some bacon and cabbage. At the moment, I've done it in the slow cooker. There you go, Philip. Some bacon and cabbage back in the day. It says, Dermo, you can't even say my name, screen name. You got no chance of that. That is so true. We're going to start a bit of breaking news, guys. I was trying to make this a Tottenham free zone, but Tottenham seemed to bite me and Philip on the arse like the devil. It keeps following us around. If you see Philip chuck something at his phone, you know why. Just very quickly, Mr. Brady, yesterday's performance, out of 10, what would you give it?
Well, I was lucky enough to be traveling all day yesterday, so I didn't see it. I avoided match of the day. It looked like the plague last night. So from what I've heard, I'd just give it about a -2.
And also, Philip, I want to play this clip, right? And I want your views on it and Kev's views. I played it earlier in Final Score. Now, apparently he was abused by another fan. Now, I won't repeat what it was said. But I want your views on his reaction, Philip. Now, I've never seen him do this to Celtic fans, and we're big Celtic fans, you and me. We know what he's like.
That was a bad day yesterday as well, but anyway.
Yeah. Don't start. Please don't. Oh, God, why did I bring that up? Should we just forget about football, Philip, completely?
I think we already have. SPURS,
Did you watch the Formula One race? That was good.
No, I haven't. I've literally seen no TV at all the last 2 days.
Right. Okay. Well, this was a video taken. Let us know what you think, Philip and Kev. I'll start with you, Philip, on this.
What was that? What was that? What was that? What was it? What was that? I'm just asking, what was it?
What do you think to that, Philip?
I think that's a sign of a guy under pressure. Because if he wasn't under pressure, he just keeps walking. Just says nothing, as he's probably done 20 times over, but it's getting to him now, I think. And he did it before there a few games ago. I remember at the home ground. So he should have kept going. He's done himself no favours. He's given the Ange out boys more and more ammunition by doing something like that, you know. So should have kept going.
What do you think of Tell defending them and the way standing up and then coming to the crowd afterwards, the fans afterwards, and trying to talk to the fans? That showed a bit of bottle by him.
It did actually. Like, it shows you that the team, I think, are probably basically still behind him. But how long is that going to last? I mean, with 15 defeats in the league, which in my lifetime, I can never even hardly ever remember that.
96, 97, or 97, 98.
It doesn't happen very often now, and it's happening. Yeah, I mean, and look at the games we've got coming up. That could easily become 20 before the season's out. With Chelsea and Liverpool and Villa to come, you know. So I mean, it's tricky.
What do you think of that video, Kev? As from I know you're a Man United fan, but if you were a Spurs fan, how would you feel after seeing that video? Say Amory did that to a Man United fan. How would you feel?
Well, as we all know, if you're a manager of a football club, we expect a higher standard of culpability from you. Now, we all are human beings and we're subject to moments of ill thought and reaction, especially if things are not going our way. But you have to think about the man that was next to him. That was Matthias Tell, 19 years of age, I believe. And he was the senior head that was trying to cool things. Now, he did embody his inner Jose Mourinho with his respect comment. But like, there was a more poignant clip of him before that where he actually came over to Tottenham fans in the stand and engaged in a conversation with them. Like, I'm looking at, and more so his body language than that particular snippet of a camera phone from a youth that, let's be fair about it, if me, Mr. Brady, or yourself pulled that kind of crap in front of our Irish mother, we'd probably be getting a whippy stick across the back of our backsides.
We wouldn't be sitting for a week. I don't think Philip would. Yeah, we all wouldn't be sitting for a week. if not a month.
Yeah.
But I suppose, like when you look at it, and again, I'm taking direct comparative to managers that were coming to the end of their tenure at Manchester United for one reason or another. You start to see these little nuances of the pressure becoming visualized in their actions, and that's what we're seeing from Ange Postecoglou now.
Yeah.
It's being outwardly exposed in front of media cameras, whether it be the young lad that tries to goad him with the camera, or whether it's your BBC News or whoever happens to be plonked there with the television camera on the day. And I think Ange is probably at the stage where he's waiting for the
phone to ring.
And it all to be over. And I think the only reason he's still in a job is because any of the temporary managers, let's be fair, aren't going to be an improvement. So it's kind of a case of, look, let's get to the end of the season. Let's deal with then any shift that occurs after that.
Yeah.
I
Well,
think
the room.
if we'd have gone out of the Europa League on Thursday, I'd say he'd be gone at this stage.
Yeah. Now, Philip, Ange has been told to secure European football to save his own skin, as Daniel Levy sets a marker. So the latest I've heard, Philip, is from our source, who you know very well as well, that they've already started talking to other managers' agents. A review will be held at the end of the season, but that review would mean Ange losing his job.
Yeah,
Philip, it's that you know contracts, you know how to set up contracts, you know the business world, you know the financial world as well as Kevin does. Is it all down to saving a few pennies for Daniel Levy, or is it down to the new owners why they haven't sacked Ange Postecoglou yet?
Could be a mixture of both, actually. Like, let's face it, previous managers had much better records than this and didn't last the course. So something is stopping Levy from pulling the trigger. It could be a mixture of both, that he didn't want to pay out a big compensation package shortly before new owners take over.
Yeah.
He could be leaving it up to the new owners to sack him, which won't cost him anything. So it's a mixture of the two, but I think we're all pretty much concerned. Unless we win the Europa League, I think Ange is gone. We're not going to qualify for Europe.
No.
By the league. I don't think so anyway. We nearly want to win every game to do that. We're not going to do that.
There is palpitations. It can go down to 11th place. But then palpitations
well,
are so far-fetched, it's like it's never going to happen. Like,
no, I think
I don't know. I feel like I know you're fed up with it. I'm totally fed up with the season now. I just want it to.
Well, I just wish it was over.
Yeah.
You know,
do you get to the point you wish they'd just sack Ange now and just get this over and done with?
Doing it now. What are you going to get? Ryan Mason for the rest of the season?
Yeah.
I don't want that either. I think we've a better chance of winning with Ange than we have with Ryan Mason. And but I think that, as I said, unless we go to Bilbao in May and win that trophy, we'll have a new manager next season. And hopefully with new owners next season.
Yeah, hopefully. Well, look, Philip, for what I'm told, that will happen.
That's one of the reasons Ange still has a job, I think. It's that situation.
Colin, do you want to read this out from Colin to me? Do you, Kev? So.
Yeah. Dermot mas rodnach will to in own show a live tatu ish inoch lua Manchester United. So basically he's saying you're behind the great and proud club of Manchester United. And he's saying you were giving us all the big gullets there last week that we were below you, that you were far superior, and look at you now.
How we get rid of him? Enough of him yapping away. Thank God for that is right.
That's not bad.
Thank
not
God
bad
for that.
For a lad from Doncaster now putting up Irish like that.
Big up. Well, Colin's from Cork. Colin is a Cork man.
That explains it. Yeah.
Big up, Colin. He's blessing me. He's got hard week this week. So Colin, our thoughts and prayers are with you this week, man.
Yeah, sure.
Sure. Greg said, had enough of bloody football. I follow darts, Formula One. Heck, I follow competitive tiddlywinks at this rate. That is so true. Big up Chilling Music. We will be battered by Frankfurt. If we play like we did yesterday, we will be. Levy knows a lot of us blame Levy for far more than Ange. That's so true. Lads, he says, I thought I'd let everyone know my bacon and cabbage was gorgeous. Kerrygo butter, Coleman's mustard, and washed down with a pint of milk. What do you reckon, Philip,
Irish.
to
That's a real Irish dinner, that, isn't it?
Yeah.
But you know what I'd like to know, Dermo? Who's taking
What?
the horse to France?
You. You can do that.
That's a very subtle one. That's a very subtle one. There's only a few people who get that one, Kevin.
You
Does
can.
Dermot get it? He does.
You fecker, you can get it. Right, Greg laughing his head up and Shamu with a hand out. Now, Philip, let's start now with a bit of Irish. This is all about Ireland tonight, St. Patrick's Day. And of course, it's going to be a little bit about Ireland and the stuff. We're sort of trying to make it non-Tottenham. We're trying to enjoy ourselves, not send ourselves to the local morgue. Philip, we've got Bulgaria, the next two games for a playoff round of the Nations League. I don't know what's more painful, watching Ireland or watching Tottenham really at the moment. What do you reckon? Can we get a result?
We could. We could, but will we? I doubt it. Do you know, I haven't even seen the squad. I don't even know who's in the squad. So that's how detached I am from the Irish scene at the minute.
Yeah.
I presume Troy Parrott's in it.
He is.
I don't know. Yeah, right. No, we haven't got the players coming through. We're destined for a long, hard road in the lower leagues in Europe for as long as I don't know, for the next 3 or 4 years, unless we start getting the players getting game time in the leagues in England, and it's not happening.
No.
You know, I know we have one young lad going to Tottenham who we're going to talk about at some stage. Maybe a bit of a white hope, but who have we got? Really nobody. Really, nobody coming through. The days of Roy Keane and Paul McGrath and Frank Stapleton long forgotten. Long gone, not forgotten, but long gone.
And it is 35 years since Italian 90, Philip. How the mighty have fallen, like.
Yeah. The nation holds its breath, huh? Yeah. That was great days. Those were the days, and they'll never be repeated. I don't think, really. You know.
No, I don't think.
The other thing too is the Newcastle fans yesterday.
Yeah, what do you reckon on Newcastle, guys? I'm really pleased for them, actually.
I'm delighted for them. I mean, I know the people are saying, "Oh, they've won a trophy before us." But don't forget, we've won 14 trophies since they won the last one. So, you know, there's a bit of an imbalance there. But I'm delighted for the fans. I mean, there was guys in tears there. You know, like, let's face it, 95% of Newcastle fans have never seen a trophy.
Shocking, isn't it?
It's incredible. For a team that has such incredible support and fills the ground every week. You know, I mean, the talk about Spurs fans being delusional. Newcastle fans have had it for a lot longer than we've had. And they finally delivered. So it's up to us now to do the same.
It is, and it's up to Mayo to win the All Ireland. But
that could be a bridge too far, don't it now? The impossible we can do. The impossible is easy. The absolutely, completely impossible is a bit more difficult.
It is. Mayo winning the All Ireland is that would be. I might be in my box before Mayo win that again.
Kev, I think Kerry might have something to say about that now.
Yeah. Just a small bit, but you know, I just say on Newcastle fans, beating Newcastle in a League Cup final is not for everyone. Liverpool, is it?
It's not for what?
Not for everyone. Beating them in a League Cup final.
No. I mean, I suppose they want to go FA Cup or something like that. Will be a lot stronger. But from what I've seen, Liverpool just didn't turn up yesterday.
What I was talking about, Philip, was that we beat him in the League Cup final 2 years ago, and I was just having a little.
Sorry. Yeah, I know what you mean. Sorry, I'm thinking of the Tottenham angle there. Yeah, of course you did. And Dan Burnham was heartbroken that day. And look what he done yesterday.
Yeah. Can I just actually point out as well? I don't know if you saw it, Philip, but Shay Given was covering the match for somebody at it, and the reaction he let out of him. Obviously, it wasn't aired live in air because I think there was a couple of expletives to go with it. But he's definitely a Geordie through and through, no matter who he played for after.
Of course he is. Yeah, he is.
Alan Shearer was there. Alan Shearer was there yesterday as well, wasn't he?
He was.
He was
the greatest Geordie. I mean, Philip, look, Greg says here, you're old enough to remember some of them 14 trophies, Philip. I've seen one in my lifetime, like they have. Out of all the trophies you've seen, Philip, which one's been the greatest?
I think for sheer excitement would be the 1984 UEFA Cup.
Yeah.
Because when we were down and out, we had so many players missing through injury and suspension that night. With Tony Parks playing in goal, with no Glenn Hoddle, no Ozzy Ardiles when he came on as a sub, and managed to miss an open goal from 14 inches. And okay, we scored from the rebound, but yeah, that was the best one. The Tony Parks penalty save, I think that was. And the sadness of the whole occasion was Keith Birkinshaw. That was his last game.
Yeah.
You know, but.
It was.
Let me. We are. Well, as you keep saying, Dermot, we beat a German team and the Dutch team or whatever on the way to the final
Yeah.
last time, and we've done the same this time. And with another German team ahead of us in Eintracht Frankfurt, you know. And who United got, Kev? Who they get in the next round?
We're playing Leon.
Yeah, I say we've got the tougher of the two now. So no.
It was the Rangers game. We covered the penalty shootout. Fenerbahce should have beaten Rangers that night.
Oh, they should have beaten them off the pitch, but
Yeah.
they didn't. And look what Rangers did, carried on to yesterday and beat Celtic. So, you know, it's a game of confidence. Something that really gives you a boost, you know. If they'd have lost to Fenerbahce on Thursday, I guarantee Celtic would have hammered them yesterday.
Oh, yeah.
And
so look, we're going to... Yeah.
Before you go forward, you mentioned about the greatest trophy in our lifetime. And for me, it has been 1999, the Champions League final.
Yeah.
The 2 goals. But the most significant game that year for me was Roy Keane's performance against Juve, because obviously we're on the Irish team. And the fact that he went hammer and tongs to drag his team to that final and the sacrifice that he made. So just kind of, I wanted to mention Roy. And and I suppose... Yeah, sorry, Philip. Go ahead.
No, go on, carry on.
And I was just going to say, obviously, the significance then of his absence in 02 had to be felt, because I think that we had a chance to do something special in 02 if we had Roy.
Yeah. Well, I got memories of that 99 Cup final. I was driving down from Dublin and I stopped off one of the petrol stations along the way to get, I don't know what to do, something I was doing, but when I got out of the car, it was 1-0 to Bayern Munich. When I got back in 3 minutes later, it was 2-1 to Manchester United. You know, so hang on, what's going on here? You know?
I remember sitting in the pub watching that. My mate was a Man United fan. He said, "Just hang on a minute." He says, "Hang on a minute. We're going to win this." I went, "You haven't got hope in hell." 2 minutes later, the 2-1 up, like it's unreal.
Yeah, it was an incredible performance. Now it was nearly as good as our win against Sheffield United last week.
That Sheffield United game, Philip, I'll never forget. You just went one way in your carpet, and that was it. You were gone. You know, Roy Keane. You see him now doing all the TV stuff and that, but he was a good player.
Coffee for joy.
Yeah, coffee for joy. I'll do laugh that. But he was a good player, wasn't he, guys? Even for Ireland. And
he's great.
I want you look. We can look back in 2002 now with a bit more hindsight, but at the time, my opinion was he was a traitor. I thought he walked out his country, and he was a traitor. How dare he do that to Ireland? What was your feelings at the time, Philip, when this broke? Not what we know now, but what was your thought at the time?
At the time, I thought he'd let his team down. He'd let his country down. At the time, I know things have transpired since. It might change that opinion, but in the heat of the moment, all we were thinking about was getting to the World Cup and playing well. And there was our best player not there for some reason or other, and it was very, very sore. And but like I've forgiven him since, big time. But there was things we didn't know about then that happened, like the lack of training facilities and this, that, and the other. You know, I know they were brought out sketchily. But it's only in the last couple of years or 2 or 3 years that it's really been gone into in any depth. And I have a lot of sympathy for what he did. And he's a man of principle, and he was quite right to do what he did. But maybe the timing was just wrong, and the tournament that he missed out on was a great shame.
Was that a tournament we could have got to a semi-final in?
Quarter-final.
We would have beaten Spain. I think we would have beaten Spain in that game.
Which meant South Korea in the next round.
Yeah,
maybe. You never listen. Who knows? It's one of them. We will never know.
And for you, Kev, what was your feelings on it at the time?
I wanted to gut Mickey McCarthy from Nath to Chap. I thought he was a complete and utter gobshite. I thought, who is he to speak about one of the best players that Ireland had at the time? And I think it actually came out, if I'm not mistaken, that the FAI had travelled without any footballs. Whatever about the quality of the pitch that they were supposed to train on, they didn't even have the bleeding equipment. And I thought, what kind of a backward nation were we that we're going to one of the biggest stages in world football, aka World Cup, that we didn't have all the equipment necessary to train while we were out there. It seemed like, I think the picture that was portrayed is that they were going on a holiday camp. And look, could Roy have handled it better? Now, this is the hindsight part, but absolutely he could. He was a hothead. He still is a hothead. And I think even the second time that Mick McCarthy took over the running of the Ireland team, he was a much more mature manager, because Mick wasn't that long out of the game when he took over Manchester United, Ireland. He was only kind of retired, about a couple of years? There were still some players that he would have played with, and I think himself and Roy had history, if I'm not mistaken, as well, from the time that they would have played together. But I think the one party that's not mentioned enough is a certain Mr. McAteer and the part he played in probably creating the friction between Mick and Roy.
Right. Jason McAteer.
Yeah, that's so true.
There's another thing, and I'm not sure if it was this particular tournament, but I know there was the case of when the team qualified for a certain tournament, the team was made to travel in economy class on the flight, whereas the big wigs, the secretaries and the directors got into business class. Now, surely that should be the other way around.
Yeah.
So I think things like that would got on top of people as well, you know.
There is a story, Philip, of '88 that in Ireland were playing Holland, and and all they needed was a draw, I think, to get into the semi-finals, and Holland scored the winner, didn't they? And there was a fella in the stand, and he said to him, "Isn't it a shame that we've gone out?" And the FAI man turned around and said, "Thank God for that." He says, "Because we had no money to take them any further. We didn't have any money for the hotels or anything." So, look, I want to get score predictions from you guys. For the Bulgaria-Ireland, it is a two-legged playoff. Philip, what are you going for?
Well, knowing it's not all about how state Bulgaria are in at the minute, but having cognizance of the weakness in our team, I'd say Bulgaria probably overall to win 3-1 in aggregate.
Kev, what are you going for?
Well, when our best player is the reserve keeper for Liverpool Football Club, and probably the only player that probably is good enough, at least on evidence that we've seen, to play in the Premier League, even with Bulgaria not being the same threat that they were in the past when they had Dimitar Berbatov and a few of these other caliber of players, I can't help but feel that Ireland will go out probably on the basis of the game in Bulgaria, where we lose maybe 2 or 3-1, and then end up playing a 0-0 draw at Dublin.
Yeah, we're not too confident at all here.
I'm going for an Ireland to win it 2-2 or 3-0 on aggregate.
Here we go again.
Sod you two. I'm going for an Ireland win. Sod that.
You're a patriot, Dennis.
I am, Philip. And if you do want to watch it, just above Philip, to the right side of Philip, there is the QR code. If Philip would give it a quite little, just a little point of the finger. No, the other way. The other way. The other way, Mr. Brady. No, that way.
Yeah, we all see my finger. Then my finger's going the other way.
Oh, yeah. There we go. If you can hit that QR code for our match day magic on Big Up, he did do it so beautifully, Philip, as an assistant. He did it with a smile as well. Why you start waving like the Queen? What are you doing? What are you doing this for?
Just doing the. No, I was actually doing the Marlon Brando one from The Godfather.
Oh, Jesus! Don't do you doing that now? You be. We all know why. Yeah, he is the Godfather for a reason. Believe me. Yeah, do follow on Big Up to a Match Day Magic, where you'll find all the internationals done over there. Big up to Yabba Forbes. It says happy St. Patrick's Day, guys. Hope all is well. We are grand. Shmoo says Ireland to go through on penalties. Oh Jesus, no, no, please, no. Yabba goes, would be great to see Ireland competitive again. It really would. And does the domestic league need to improve to create better players? Well, Philip and Kev, this is where we're going next. There is a row between the governing body, the Irish Football Association, and the League of Ireland. There has been talk of a split, that the League of Ireland leaving the governing body and setting up their own. Philip, you know people within the game in the Irish League. You know somebody who was chairman of St. Pat's.
Yeah.
Look, League of Ireland's really come on the last couple of years, hasn't it? It really has come on leaps and bounds with attendance and clubs doing well in Europe as well. What's this row about? For somebody who doesn't know about Irish soccer and the row at the moment, in simple terms, what's the row about?
I think actually maybe like Kevin, because to be honest with you, I'm a little bit out of tune with this end of things, Dermot, so I don't want to make a fool of myself. But what I will say is this: there was a game there a couple of weeks ago between St. Pat's and Shamrock Rovers, and you could not get a ticket for that game for love nor money. And look at what that's done for, the crowds are brilliant this season, or last season as well. The row, I mean, there's a row. Damien Duff, I know, is no fan of the FAI at the moment. Am I right in saying that he is refused to? What's this? He's refused to do? Jesus, sorry, my mind's gone blank here.
He's refused to go out for a drink with the Irish manager.
That's right, with the Ireland manager.
Yeah.
But it's deeper than that. But I have to say, work commitments and everything have led me a little bit underprepared for that end of the question. So maybe I'll let one of you guys answer that.
Sorry. Kev. Sorry, Philip. I didn't mean to. It's just came into my head.
I would normally have it off Pat's, but it's just that I haven't had a chance to read up on it.
Kev, the row. Can you explain the row at the moment? Why is there a row between League of Ireland and the governing body? And for somebody that doesn't know Irish soccer, so just give them a brief description of the row, or why a row has broken out.
So specifically regarding Mr. Damien of the Duffers, former Irish great, I suppose, and Chelsea great, and he back in July 2024 said he would sack 90% of FAI staff. Obviously, this was probably around the time when Mr. Delaney was firmly in the news for his dealings with the company credit cards et al. But he then later said sorry for his ridiculous comments. But if you remember correctly, at the time when we were seeking a new international manager, he was seen as possibly one of the leading candidates by most domestic Irish football fans. And he didn't seem too pleased with the way that, I suppose, he was engaged with during that time, because if you remember correctly, Ireland had courted, a bit like the year that SPURS were looking to appoint a certain current Nottingham Forest manager. They'd courted numerous managers, and they were getting turned down. And Damien was seen as kind of the, well, in case shit happens, break glass appointment. And then he said, no, I'm not being nobody's safety net, nobody's fall guy. And it seems like himself and Hal Grimson, our current Icelandic manager, had a bit of a falling out. But I suppose when you look at what was, I suppose, expended in grassroots, just take Cork City, for example. The FAI in their governments allowed Cork City to overexpend and eventually end up getting liquidated and having to be Cork City Force Co-op in their reincarnation, if you remember that one, lads. But the governments and basically ensuring that there was a sustainable model never took place, because you have teams like THFC who are using 18 and 19-year-olds to fill most of their team. You had George, what was his name? George something. He was from Limerick. Georgie Callahan. He was one of the highest paid League of Ireland players of his era. And when you think about the contracts that Cork City were allowed to dole out, like if they had to be approved by the governing body, aka the FAI, you'd have had to have assumed that anybody with a bit of financial kind of knowledge would have said, "What's going on here, lads? How are you affording to pay Callahan this, Joe Bloggs that?" It was just completely and utterly ludicrous.
Just very quickly on that, Philip. I mean, is this down to the government now to get involved with the governing body now and start? You look what they've done to RTE. They went into RTE and they held how many Senate meetings over it, and and they're doing the same with the FAI. When is it down to the Irish government, especially with the programme of government? They've got to put more into Irish soccer. You look at GAA, you look at rugby. They would get all the money first. Soccer always comes last.
I think that's what the problem is. If they started giving out money to the soccer, you'd find the GAA, especially the GAA and the rugby, would start making very, very strong representations, because they seem to, well, say they've got a God-given right to it, but certainly a lot of people in this country would resent money being given to rugby because it's classed as an English sport, and they would also resent it being given to soccer. Most people would be happy enough if the GAA were given the money, which has happened. Because, and let's face it, the ground improvements in the GAA have been pretty impressive. The way they're running the thing at the minute is an absolute disgrace, by the way. Having the All-Ireland so early in the year is an absolute joke.
I agree with you on that. Just very quickly on that point, Philip, I think the way the GAA are running Gaelic football at the moment is atrocious.
It's dreadful.
It was always...
Look at Donegal, for example. Donegal are in pole position to win the league title. They don't want to win it. For the simple reason, the final is a week before their first round of the championship against Derry, which is far more important than any league title. Why put the game so close together? Croke Park is empty from the middle of August, where it used to be from the middle of September. There's a month extra they could have used.
I mean, it was always the first Sunday in September was hurling. The last Sunday in September was football.
No,
that was
Sunday.
Always
first and third.
Yeah, you know what I mean.
Yeah,
growing up, that was it. And I remember Mayo playing Cork one year in the All Ireland. Mayo did get to an awful lot of All Irelands and we didn't win them, but we'll just move on to that.
We go again.
Do you want to tell the story if people don't know why Mayo is so cursed, Philip? Because it is a funny story.
Well, so in 1951.
Right,
this is the Mayo team were coming home from an All-Ireland final. In fact, the last one that they won. I'm not sure it was Kerry they beat that day. I'm not quite sure. Could have been Kerry. But anyway, in 1951, they're on their way home to Mayo. In those days, of course, there was no... they're probably coming home by coach. And they were going through a certain town. I'm not sure if it was Foxford. It was a town in Mayo anyway. There was a funeral going on, right? And the players did not stop to let the funeral go by. Basically, not to show their respects. They just kept going. And the parish priest of the town at that stage says Kerry would never ever, or Mayo, sorry, would never ever win the Sam Maguire until every member of that team was dead. And the last member of that team was Dr. Mick Loftus. He died about 2 years ago, 2 or 3 years ago, but they still haven't won it.
Was that he died around the time of the final as well?
I think it was just around that time. Yeah. I think so.
They beat Meath by 2-8 to 9, 2 goals to 8 points to 9 points. Meath. They beat Kerry in the semi-finals. They drew the first game 1-5 to 1-5, 1 goal to 5 points, and then they won the replay 2 goals to 4 points to Kerry's 1 goal to 5 points.
But you know something? I have a guy, and he's not a friend of mine. He's acquaintance. I met him a few times. He used to be the doctor for the Mayo team back about 20 years ago.
Yeah,
and he said that actual legend was strongly believed in Mayo. That it literally was a curse, and that they would never win the All Ireland until the last was. It's a wonder they didn't go and kill a few of them off. You know, it took 50 years for them all to die off. Well, 60 years.
It's shocking. It is shocking. Kerry doing well. What's your hopes for this year for you for the All Ireland?
Well, I suppose given that we had a period of Dublin dominance, where they unfortunately run 6 in a row, both Mayo and Kerry are guilty of not finishing their dinner on one occasion or
Yeah.
another, because I think both those counties would feel that they could have prevented that legendary 6 in a row statistic. But as for this year, I think you have to kind of be wary of what certain turf accountant companies are saying, and they can't seem to pick an apple from an orchard at the moment, because pretty much every single Division 1 county is within maybe 2 or 3 to 1 of each other. I think Kerry is 3.5, Dublin's 3.5, sorry, Dublin's 4, Donegal is 3.5. Like there's nobody really that's seen as an out and out favourite. Unlike in the hurling, where I think Limerick are just under 2 to 1 and Cork are just over 2 to 1. And I think for us, the big thing really is getting back into a position where we have a chance at winning an All-Ireland. And if the injury that occurred at the weekend against Armagh, which was the loss of O'Connor, our midfielder, happens to rule him out for a significant part of the season, I would struggle to see Kerry going anywhere beyond maybe a quarter-final.
Yeah, it was an unfortunate injury.
Have you seen that semi-final, Philip? That could be.
Well, I can tell you one thing: Leitrim will be hammered whoever they play. They're actually playing Sligo on Sunday in the last round of the league if they can get a team together. But Mayo versus Leitrim, I'm sorry, Dermot, that would be like, I mean, you need a calculator to work that score out.
Oh, mind you, we've got Sligo in the quarterfinals to beat them first. Galway are playing, London are playing Roscommon. Galway are home to New York.
No, they're away to New York. They're away.
They're away to New York. Well,
that's
you heard that right.
Trip. That's the annual trip with the Connacht. I went there 2 years ago, and that was some trip, I'll tell you. It's unbelievable. Anyway.
Mayo versus Sligo, the semi-finals, then Leitrim versus Mayo, Sligo, and then Roscommon and London. That's for the Connacht title. It's a bit weird, isn't it? I mean, Wexford,
Mayo or Galway. That's the one.
Yeah, it'd be a Mayo Galway final, you know that. Yeah. But Sligo are not to be sniffed at either, to be fair. I mean, look, we grew up in England and Ireland. Ireland's always been very close to our hearts, guys. Philip, what was it like for you? I mean, a lot of people will not know that there was hostility, wasn't there, with the Irish, especially in England.
Yeah. Well,
we're not going to go on about why, but I mean, I was bullied a lot because my parents were Irish. I'm sure you were as well, Philip, because of where we were from.
Well, I was kind of lucky in a way because when I left England, I left England. Only went to school there for a few years. I left before the Birmingham pub bombings. We lived in Birmingham.
Yeah.
But I know friends of ours that are still living in Birmingham there that once that happened, they were refused service in shops. Mm-hmm. They were spat at in the street. There was signs up outside every builder's yard or shop. Help wanted, no Irish need apply. That was terrible. It was absolutely awful. And there is still in some ways an anti-Irish sentiment.
There is. Do you know, as a country, we're probably the nicest country, the most welcomingest country in the world. We really are. Yeah. Look, I know my young lad is very, he's very sort of strong on this belief that Ireland is losing its heritage of what it stood for, becoming too commercialized. Especially like St. Patrick's Day, it is a religious thing. You said it yourself, Philip. It is a religious
it used to be
thing. Have we a problem in Ireland that that Ireland itself has become too Americanized in a way? That we're losing like the Irish language, or we're losing certain things that makes this country so unique to the world?
Was that for me or Kev?
You, and then I go to Kev.
Yeah, I mean, okay, listen, we have to move on. We can't be a country that goes around in an ass and cart on dirt roads. But we've got to move. We've got to keep up with the times. And the EU has been a big help there, bringing Ireland, up into the 21st century, if you like,
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, we have lost a significant amount of Irishness, and I'm not going to use the immigration issue as a problem there, but
No.
there is a lot of there are so many non-Irish people living in the country now that there has to be a certain lessening in the Irishness in the country.
Mm.
But that being said, we still have a reputation for being the most welcoming people, friendly people.
Yeah.
I'm talking to Americans nearly every week, and they cannot believe the hospitality. They used to come in from a country where you wouldn't even know your next door neighbor is.
Yeah.
You know, whereas here, you go into a pub here and you're from America, they find, where are you from? Oh, that's great. I have a cousin living in such and such. Do you know him? They love that. And
Yeah.
we were really famed for that. So there's a certain lack in Irishness, but there's still an awful lot of it there. And today's, like, all the marching bands and people have come in from other countries today will be going back to their country saying, wow, what a country that is when they go back. They mightn't like the prices now, but everything else they'll like.
Yeah. Kev, we've got the best football fans in the world by far. Do you think that's a good reputation for us as well? That we've got the best soccer fans in the world?
Yeah, I suppose, you know, a lot of countries, they love having the Irish as part of any major tournament because of the fact that we bring a bit of crack. And if I remember correctly, was it the German police? I can't remember which, where Irish lads were serenading the female German cops, and there was a whole big thing about it because the Germans saw no threat in what the Irish were doing. They were just, they're having a bit of fun. There's nothing to worry about here. Whereas you've seen other people getting the crap beat out of them for trying the stuff that the Irish fans got away with. I suppose one thing I do want to raise from the weekend is, look, we all have our beliefs in terms of what happened up north and the reasons behind it, and a certain 6 counties. And one of those counties played in Tralee at the weekend. And there was a few young lads from Tralee that took it upon themselves to fire stuff at a particular cohort of fans that damaged one of their flags that is making it unusable. And they also hit a young woman with some missile. And I suppose in a kind of an age where we want to kind of heal our country, it's time that we probably abandon some of that hostility. But you mentioned about Ireland and it's losing its identity. The Irish language was dying long before any Americanization influence, because that's very much a modern thing, the American influence. And I suppose it'd be hypocritical of us, of all countries, about immigration and the impact that other cultures coming in here is having, because we populated Australia, America, and even them across the pond to a certain extent. We invaded over there. So
we didn't invade. We didn't invade, Kev. We went over there because we ran out of drink here, so we thought we'd go over across the water because there was more drink over in that country. We'll go and drink them dry.
The best fans in the world, I suppose, to go back to the quote, at the end of the day, like, all credit due to Monsignor Keane. What are they celebrating? What are they singing about? We're losing 5-0. It's bleeding embarrassing. And, you know, you do have to take on board what Roy says. I know we're kind of drowning our sorrows and trying to trivialize the fact that we're getting bait out the wazoo by another country. But there's times where you just kind of have to kind of go, nice, we need to stop singing here.
I remember, I told you the story before. I remember going to an Ireland away game against Russia back in the day when you could go to Russia. We got beat 4-2. But at the end of the game, they held the Irish fans back. The Russian secret police were there. The whole lot. There was literally every yard. There was a soldier or a policeman monitoring what we were doing. I'm trying to marshal us through. You know, it's a holding area. Some of the boys started making sheep noises. And the Russians now, who would not be known for their sense of humor, they were cracking up. They couldn't believe that he was said we have to get hammered in the match, and the humor was still so good that they started making sheep noises. And then one guy takes out his mouth organ and starts singing, "Do you want your old lobby washed down?" That finished us.
Did they do the same in '88 as well? When they come off the boat into, was it 1990? They come off the boat into Sicily, and they had one cage the Dutch fans, the other cage the English fans, and then the middle of the Irish fans. And the Dutch fans and the English fans were trying to get at each other, and there were the Irish fans in the middle being sheep, making sheep noises.
Yeah, that'd be it. That'd be it. Oh yeah,
And
there's
that's
another
good.
time too in Prague. They started. I don't know if you've ever been to Prague, but there's a huge big square in Prague. And before the match, they started a conga line right the whole way around the square, and there was loads of police there. They grabbed all the policemen, made them join in the conga line.
It
You
is
couldn't
funny.
make it up, you know.
You could. I mean, look, I big up to Wilton McDonald as well. He says, "Good evening, Dermot
Wilton.
and Kevin." He says, "Good to see you, Philip." And he says,
Hi,
"Happy
Wilton.
St. Patrick's Day to you all." We've got Taken here. He says, "I went out with a girl from Leitrim. Maybe Philip, you might know her.
Oh,
Years ago, she was a nurse. There you go.
that narrows it down a bit. I'll
Yeah,
make
there you go.
inquiries.
See, Philip, see, Inspector Caluso on the case." He says, "I meet a lot of Irish people over here, and none can speak our mother tongue, only cursing it. That's it. Pathetic."
Yeah.
Oh, well, go on, Mogul. Go. Anyway, that's all I can say now. So, shut up, you. Shut up, you fucking idiot. Forgive my ignorance. I haven't a clue what St. Patrick's Day is about. So, well, do you want to explain it, guys? All right, Philip can do the religious part, and Kev can do the drinking part. So, go on, Philip. You head it
St.
on.
Patrick was an English-born missionary who came to Ireland in about the 4th century, and he converted a lot of people to Catholicism, and supposed to have driven all the snakes out of Ireland. There's still a few left I won't name. But he is buried in a place called Downpatrick, which is quite similar up in County Down. And his Saints' Day, for some reason, is picked to the 17th of March. And we take a day off, we go marching, we go drinking, we go celebrating them, and the odd person goes to Mass as well, now and again.
Yeah, I want to know who the snakes are, Philip. You can't leave us on a cliffhanger like that.
Well, one of them is in Washington at the minute.
Oh, you
I've
mean that?
I've just seen a headline in tomorrow's paper coming up. A certain US president with yellow hair finds a way to embarrass Ireland on Patrick's Day. Work that one out.
See, I love Philip and his mystic clues. Like now, Philip, here's a clue for you. Is he wearing your color sweater?
Is he wearing what?
Is his hair the same? Is he painted in the same color as your jumper?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
Right, that narrows it down a bit, Kev. Any other clues? Do you think you might know who it is, Kev?
Well, I suppose he's probably referring to the young man that isn't covered in tattoos that stated that the person was his favourite Irishman. But I just want to come in briefly, and there's one school of thought in some areas of the more learned areas of Ireland that have researched Mr. Saint Patrick, and that in fact that the snakes were the ordinary Irish pagan that were being driven out, as opposed to a particular snake.
That's probably right. That's probably right.
So,
but there is no snakes in Ireland, though. You can find a snake in Ireland. That is true. That actually is true.
The snake is probably a euphemism for the incumbents that were there at the time. But in terms of St. Patrick's Day, you kind of mentioned what does St. Patrick's Day mean to us. And when I was kind of growing up initially, it was the Railway Cup finals. That was kind of a big thing that was on St. Patrick's Day. Then it kind of got taken over by the club finals, which again was a great day's entertainment because you'd watch the hurling final, the football final, and away you go. But as you said now, kind of it's taken on a commercial identity, the kind of hallmarkism. But I do wonder. There's a certain family that their son is known for standing outside of a school, even though he's been paid to stay away from the place, that were flown over by.
You mean Michael Martin's local fan club?
That's the fella. But Dermo, I think, isn't there a certain thing that you always do with Mr. Brady around
Yeah.
this time of
Well,
the year?
what I want to do is bring up this first. We did get together. Well, no, in fact, me and Kevin did sort of, or Mr. Brady put this together. So me and Kev haven't seen this team. We have come up with an all-time Irish Spurs Man United 11. And this is the team we've come up with. We've come in Pat Jennings in goal. We've got Dennis Irvine, Kevin Moran, Paul McGrath, Chris Houghton. We've got Georgie Best, Roy Keane, Johnny Giles, Tony Galvin, and up front we've got Frank Stapleton and Robbie Keane. I'm going to give that a 9 out of 10. Kev, what are you giving that out of 10?
Yeah, I think we're definitely in the 9 regions there, because there's not a whole pie to argue with, is there?
Well, there's
Now,
actually there's far more Irish players played for United than Spurs.
Yeah, that's true.
And I take it like, okay, there's a few players in there that are a walk into that team. Pat Jennings for one, Roy Keane for another, Georgie Best obviously, and a few of them that mightn't just be as obvious. Like I put Tony Galvin in purely because I didn't want to have a completely Man United midfield.
Oh, Tony Galvin. Didn't he play in 88, Tony Galvin, didn't he? He played in 88 in the European Championships.
Did he? May have, yeah. I can't remember if he didn't have. But up front, Frank Stapleton, Robbie Keane, what a pairing that would be. Jesus.
It would. That is Philip's all-time Spurs Man United 11. Really pleased with that. Now,
I think
we do
does
this.
an honourable mention have to go to Shay Given, just as kind of a debutant to Mr. Jennings.
I didn't have time to do the subs bench, or else he would have been the sub goalkeeper.
Big up to Wilton, says I'm having a couple of glasses of beer, so cheers. Big up to you, Wilton. Now,
can I just ask Mr. Brady before you go, where would the Duffer have featured?
Are you talking Damien Duff?
Damien Duff, yeah.
He didn't play for United.
Would he make the bench?
But he didn't. Did he play for United?
He didn't play. Oh, it's the greatest Irish team ever.
It's United for United and Spurs. Wouldn't be.
Well, if it's only United and Spurs, yeah, that'd be different. But I suppose, if you're talking about any Irish player outside beyond their club lineage, would he have got into the team?
Yeah, I'd say he probably would have. Yeah, I'd say he would have. And also another one that probably would have got in as well. I didn't put him in there, obviously, but would be Danny Blanchflower.
Yeah,
there you go.
That's true. Wilton's gone for 9 out of 10 as well. So I would have loved Best at Tottenham because I believe he's the greatest British footballer. Yeah, Georgie Best. Now, Philip, this is our traditional. Every year we do this.
Jesus.
We pick a few stories from around the world and we do put them in this. Now, I don't know. Look, I want to do a bit different this year, Philip, right? A little bit, Philip. We're going to start with Colin McGregor. So we're going to start with that, and then we will go on. So I will press play. So go on then. Go on, Philip.
This is the local branch of the Washington Police have been summoned to the White House. There's an Irishman there creating a lot of havoc and trying to get off with Melania Trump. So they're not life jackets they're putting on. They're actually body armor to stop in case he gets violent when he gets there, And here they're heading off. They're heading off here now. They're bringing the boat with them because they're going to do a frontal attack from the Potomac River rather than coming in through the front door. There they go.
It's quite funny, Philip. So they're off there in the Mark II. They're going over the bridge of the Liffey there. This is Dublin back in the 80s, by the way, guys. Around Ballybrack and the farm area. There is Daniel Levy's sort of little
carrier pigeon going to warn the guys that they're coming.
Yeah. Yeah. Now, Kev. Now, what do you reckon here? Now, what do you reckon's happening here? Now, this is your bit. You take over now. So, what's happening now?
Well, it looks like now they're on the way to intercept Conor McGregor as he's about to arrive in Washington, D.C. because they heard that Conor McGregor is interested in buying the Tottenham Hotspur and that there might be a few keys of the money there available to them. So now they're about to launch the boat to the great USA. It might take them about 10 to 15 years to arrive in America, where the deeds might be available. Now, the cameraman
All you
there
want
is
now,
now.
all you want now is Hawaii 5-0 music being played.
Boom.
No. Can I just say this is Jim Ratcliffe in disguise. I'm hiding from the Manchester United Supporters Trust. He decided to grow himself a beard and put some hair in his head. What he's saying is that he regrets what he said about Man United. He is gonna put more money in, but this is the Manchester United Supporters Trust going to the Glazers' house. Now, this is where the Glazers live. They've got a lovely house here. Now, Philip, coming up, we're going to see the Glazers. Look, now there's the Glazers' house. Fine house, isn't it, Philip?
Yeah, actually, they heard that the Glazers had a secret stash of sandwiches, which they're going to bring back to give to the canteen staff. So that's what they're raiding the Glazers' house for.
Yeah, no, they're having a good look around here. Now, who's this fella here? Now, is this who's this? Is this Roy Keane now with the stick in his hand now? Is that Roy Keane? Is it?
No, that's the Garda commissioner actually. He's finished his tour of duty in June, so he's looking to get a job as head of security at Old Trafford.
Now, this is them breaking into the Glazers' head office. They've gone in and they're finding all the drink and the sandwiches and the money in there. This is the Supporters Trust trying to get some money for United. What they found here, Philip? They found some. What they got here now?
They probably found the slops from he keeps all the slops from the beer in the bar from every match and brings it back out to the island to resell it again at a later stage. But the fact they found it now, and that's the end of that story. You know?
That's Daniel Levy. Look, we've got George Best. Look, you mentioned alcohol. George Best pops out of nowhere. You know, he's come back from the dead looking for drink. Now, this Philip is the most.
Go on.
Yeah, go on.
As George Best said, he says he earned a lot of money. He spent 75% of it on fast cars and loose women, and the rest of it he wasted.
Now, this is a new sport the Glazers have brought up at United. It's trying to open. I still think this is funny.
What you got here is you've got this is the urine that is coming out of the Old Trafford toilets because it's been unable to travel in a particular way. So now what we have here is they're trying to extrapolate the urine from the Glazers' house because they've been complaining of a waterfall rising thereon inside the area of their roof. But as you can see, the piss is all over the floor, and the Glazers themselves, they're a business at last to try and displace this piss from their floor. But what they heard was
anyway.
This is them on their way to Ineos. No, so it is.
Yeah, this is them going back, Philip. Now Daniel Levy apparently he's meeting the boat. On the look, there's Daniel Levy there, waiting for the lads to come back.
That's it.
He's looking well though, Daniel. And there's Harry Kane saying, "Can I come back to Tottenham, please?"
Son. That's Daniel's.
It
son.
is, yeah. Now, what they're up to here, Philip? What they're on gate? And geez, is that a bomb?
No, they can't.
Is that a Second World War bomb? Is it?
They can't afford bomb disposal at Old Trafford.
No.
They're digging up the pitch there and they found a bomb underneath it. It's been there since 1942. So yeah, this is the Old Trafford pitch now next season.
No, this is the escape route for Ange Postecoglou leaving Tottenham.
This is the halfway line. This is the halfway line.
This is where Ange will jump down the escape hatch at the end of the season. I think what they're doing here now, they're trying to fill it up here, Kev. Can't hear you.
What they're trying to do there.
Sorry, apologies. I was a bit there muted. What they're doing there is they're burying the ghosts of trophies past that died with Sir Alex Ferguson. As you know, we used to win trophies a lot when a certain Scottish man was available, but they're burying the prestigious past of Manchester United there, and they're looking to a new area where they can frack the assets directly to America and steal everything that belongs to Manchester United. And what you got here now is
they're breaking up the dugout. They're breaking up the dugout there.
Yeah. I think they're about to invite their cousin Daniel there now to help them with the final bit there, Philip.
Yes. Yeah. Daniel O'Donnell will be coming along to sing now in a minute.
Now, if anyone's watching this is the 3 holes for Daniel Levy, Ange Postecoglou, and Eric Ten Hag. They're trying to find which hole he jumped down. Ten Hag when he escaped Manchester United. Now, what they're doing here is they're trying to get rid of all the beer that Levy doesn't drink, and they're putting it. I don't know. Now they're on the radio here, Philip. What's he on the radio for? Is he trying to get Levy to come in to drink some beer, or are you saying, right, lads, we're on the way back now?
He's trying to find out how Kerry did in the All Ireland.
They're going round in circles at the moment, a bit like Mayo.
He says, "Get back to land quick, lads. We might make the second half."
Now, we're looking this is Daniel Levy's private swimming pool. Very big swimming pool as well. There's a couple of lads, Harry Kane and Eric Dyer, just come back to Tottenham's training ground, trying to nick a few bits out of what they left behind.
Is that Dele Alli there in the background?
It is, yeah. Can I just say, right? This was what they used to feed Harry Kane. This is now food for the Manchester United canteen they're finding. Column's going to kill me now. I know he is. Look at the lads. Now, what they're doing here now, they're chucking that. Isn't that against the environmental?
Yeah.
Are they breaking environmental rules here?
They probably are. They probably are. But they're probably written on the back of the on the thing that this barrel is a property of Arsenal FC. So yeah.
What you actually didn't notice there, Dermot, is in the last scene, the bit of turf, the valuable black gold that it is, was stuffed into the back pocket and trousered by the greedy American corporations.
Oh, yeah.
Now, can I just say they've started a new competition here, throwing the barrels, and they're not doing very well here at the moment, lads. All that lovely golden nectar. Look at that. I've tried it with a rock. I'm going to try it with a hammer now. I don't think this Gardaí's learning you can't break something that it looks like Bill and Bob out of the Bill and Bob pop men there.
But so what they're doing is they found 47 barrels. So they wrecked 40 of them and took the other 7 home and sold them.
If you're learning how to make poaching, this is a video how to make poaching in Ireland.
Holy Spudwater Clanrickard.
I tell you, this throw in the barrel lark ain't catching, They're not very good at that. Oh, that was a good throw.
Actually, no, I think there was a prize for the throwing the barrel among the guards in those years, And they measured each one, and not one to throw it the furthest got a year's supply of poaching free.
Now, they've had a day of drinking and eating, and that's the end of it. That is the end of that video. It is a funny one. It's something we do every year.
Different commentary every year on it.
Yeah, different commentary every year. Look, guys, we are going to end off here. I want to ask a very serious question. What does it mean to be Irish for you, Philip?
I'm proud. Like I'm actually got my foot in both camps. Like I was born in Northern Ireland, but I am a citizen of the Irish Republic. I can have both passports, but I don't. I only have an Irish passport. So I am proud to be Irish, and wherever I go, I'm proud to be Irish. I don't like people that run down our country for whatever reason. People like, politically, people like the Burkes get up my nose because I think they're above the law. I think we should be proud of what we've got. Okay, it's not perfect, but where is perfect?
No,
and my kids, all my kids are living here. They're earning a living here. And actually, what's really good one, my 5-year-old, I said this before, that my 5-year-old grandson, who's shown very great potential as football. I spotted when he was only 2. He signed up with me. Remember Neil Fenn? He used to be a SPURS player. Neil Fenn runs an academy for prospective footballers, and Paul has signed up. He's 5 years of age, and he signed up with Path to Pro, that Neil Fenn runs, to become a professional footballer. So hopefully I'm going to have another Irish footballer in the family before long.
Oh, that would be great.
Well, his father is an Olympic athlete, so it runs in the family, It
does run in the family. Well, Philip, thanks for coming on. It's great having you back again.
It's great to meet you.
these
Very
streams
nice.
would not be the same without you, Philip. These St. Patrick's Day stream, we do them every year. So we started them, 3 years ago, and they're great crack to do. I do enjoy doing them.
Yeah.
Kev, same question to you. What does it mean to be Irish?
I'm going to use a line from a film called Kingdom of Heaven. When Saladin was asked, "What is Jerusalem worth?" Nothing. Everything.
Yeah.
And just mentioning Northern Irish players, this is one of my prized possessions. It is a sports card of Mr. Georgie Best, and it has a player-worn jersey there of his game in a Legends match on Bruce Gobbler's testimonial match at Anfield back in 1992.
Lovely.
Wow.
So
He was great. He was a great player.
He was. What does it mean to me? I'm proud to be Irish. I'm proud of my heritage. My parents, unlike you, Philip, my mother was from Northern Ireland, Armagh. My dad was from the Republic. So, again, could have had either passport, but had an Irish passport. It means everything to be Irish. I am so proud of my history, of my family history. I have links to Michael Collins as well, down to my birth father's side. The forefather of our state, the man that actually fought for our independence. And we shouldn't forget that. We shouldn't forget where we've come from. We're only a young state. We're only a young nation.
Yeah.
If you look around the world, Ireland is probably one of the youngest nations out there. And we've come so far in a short space of time.
Yeah.
They've become one of the richest nations in the world. Irish people are the greatest people in the world. It's just we have built half the world. We destroyed some of it and we've rebuilt it again. Look, I have always had this belief, and I stand by it even now, that we should be a united country, and we will be a united country one day. We will be one day, maybe not in our lifetimes, maybe in our children's lifetime or their children's, we will be united again. But Ireland, to me, I am so proud to be Irish, and like we all are. And we're only a small little Irish YouTube channel, but we're damn proud of it. And we will sing it from the highest rooftops what Ireland means to us. So I think that's what it means. We're very proud, aren't we, Philip, of our country? Absolutely. We're only a young country. What, we're 2 years old?
102 years, 103 years old.
Yeah.
Yeah, very proud of it. Very proud.
And we've come a long way in a short time of we may not have the best soccer team, we may not have the best international soccer team, but when we go away, we're damn well proud of where we come from. We're damn well proud.
We have the best hurling team.
Yeah.
And the best GA team.
Yeah, I've just got to get over supporting Wexford.
And we used to have the best rugby team until Saturday. But anyway,
I don't talk about that. I miss our rugby watch-alongs as well, actually.
How many points for conversion, Dermot?
3.
Jesus, you still haven't got it right.
I still haven't got it. I never will. Philip, for you, just one question. Go on, Kev. What's this mean in English?
Éireann go brá, Chucky ar lá. Basically, Ireland, forever, our day will come.
Yeah, our day will come. Look, I'm very. Philip knows how passionate I am about the Michael Collins thing. You know that, don't you, Philip? And you and me have talked a lot about it. Look, very quickly, how much praise should that man get for what he did for our country? I know a lot of other people have done stuff as well that should be James Connolly as well, for starting the union side of stuff. Starting the union side. You had the 1916 people of the Rising. You had Michael Collins. You had other people. We had the Taoiseach. What was his name? Sean. Not Dev. No. He was Charlie Harty's father-in-law.
Yeah, Sean the Mass.
Yeah, the Mass. But for what he did in the 60s, do you know, we should be proud of people like that from our past, shouldn't we, as a nation?
Yeah, there's a few of them now. We'd rather not mention. We're not mentioning who they are here, but His surname begins with H. That's as much as I'll say, but yeah. We have
Go on, Philip, please.
Michael,
Tell one funny Charlie Harty story, please. One funny. Can I just explain to people? Charlie Harty was on Taoiseach around the 80s, and it was called Gubu. Now, if you wonder what Gubu means, look it up on the internet. Philip will tell you what it means. I mean, for what 18 months, Philip, it was like the most hilarious comedy sketch of wasn't it, guys? It really was something.
It was a guy. Charlie High was a guy who went on TV one night and told us we all had to pull our shirt, pull our belts in. The country was broke. We had no money for this. We had no money for that. And the same day, he was taking deliveries of shirts costing 500 quid each from Paris. That were flown in specially from a private plane. Charvet shirts. He was not practicing what he preached by any means. But Gubu was somebody described him as grotesque, unbelievable, bizarre, and unprecedented. I think that's the way it was said. Am I right there, Kev? That's the way Gubu meant.
I believe, yeah, you've summed it up quite well, and it kind of went well with the Teflon Taoiseach later on in life, didn't it?
It did, absolutely. Yeah.
We need to do a stream on Charlie Hart. I keep saying you to that, don't I, Philip? We have to do one on him because
we're going to be doing a political thing soon anyway, so we can.
Yeah, we are. We are going to do something. Me and Philip, nothing to do with this channel, nothing to do with that. We're just going to do one. We're going to put the worlds to rights. Maybe Kev, you want to get involved in that as well with us. Put the worlds to right, but it will be put out on the podcast world, not on YouTube. It will be put out in the podcast world. But yeah. Charlie Harty was something. Him and Bertie Ahern was something else. The pair of them. Guys, thank you so much. Thank you for doing this with me. We're going to sign off now. Do you want to sign off in Irish, Kev?
Yeah, just briefly. Tekken mentioned a song by the Dubliners, and I think maybe just to read a couple of bars of it just for the day that's in it. Oro Shedava Hawalia, Oro Shedava Hawalia, Oro Shedava Hawalia, and Ishik Docton Tauri, Gloria Vele, Chaktar Solia, Boni de Neshmagarda. I won't do any more because my singing voice is terrible, but I thought you
were going to start singing seven drunken nights.
But Shinna Will and Shogalua got a Magot or on Tashtel. Slangafol agus beg Ihawagot. Arrivederci.
Thank you very much for everyone.
Oh, good stuff. Good stuff, lads.
Philip, thank you for coming on. Kev, thanks for coming on. And again, to everyone, happy St. Patrick's Day. And we're back on Wednesday. Ham tomorrow, Rob. And have a good one. And I hope you enjoyed the show. I've enjoyed this. I love doing these shows. I better get off now because Tequila wants to start gaming. All right. See you later. Go, Margaret. Happy St. Patrick's Day.
See you later.